guys. Finishing up a leg and shoulder workout. Hit a little PR today. 275 on squats for 4 reps. And just a few weeks ago, I only got it for 1. So adding another 3 reps was amazing. And lately I've been having a little bit of pain, but today the hip and the tendonitis in the left knee felt great. Thank God. Something I prayed for. Something I prayed for health and healing, right? Because God's in that business of health and healing. And you know what else we can do for health and healing is fasting, right? Fasting is very popular in the Bible for many reasons, and now modern science has, tons of research out that has a lot of benefits. Increasing growth hormone, letting your body heal, eliminate toxins, kind of regenerate a lot of different tissues in the body. Good for the mind. And specifically this morning I was reading in Ezra 8, and there was 2 specific instances where they fasted. And the first instance is they're getting ready to travel to Jerusalem with all the stuff for the Lord's house, with a bunch of gold, with a bunch of silver, and different holy vessels. But this is a new beginning for them right now. And so they're asking God for direction. They want direction for themselves, for their kids, and for all their assets that they had. So they fasted in order to receive direction from God, clarity for themselves and for their families. And it was interesting because they said specifically for their little ones, for their children. So these are all things that we can fast for. A lot of people don't realize that. Fasting is not just to get prayers answered. These specific situations I think are important because they show you, that people cared so much for their children that they would fast for their children. So that's something that we can do. Fast for children, friends, family. And it's not just for health. They fasted for their children, for their children's futures, right? For their direction. So if you're worried about that for your kids, you can fast for them. And in the Bible, every time someone fasted, the Lord heard them, right? He heard them. He answered their petition. And then going on, as they're about to make the travel, they're traveling with a lot of valuables, holy vessels for the house of God. And there's like a lot of thieves and people waiting on the road, on the waysides, to jump people, to steal what they have, right? And Ezra, though, did not want to ask the king for help, for security, because he told him that the hand of God, that the good hand of God is with those who seek him and obey him. But the hand of God is against those who forsake him, who don't do what is right. So instead of being presumptuous about it and just thinking, oh yeah, God's going to protect me, I'm just going to go my way, he went ahead and did his part, and he prayed about it, and he fasted. And he fasted with the community as well. So they fasted to God for protection, for safe passage, for safe travels, for safe passage against enemies, right? And turns out that there was an enemy waiting for them, and he tried to come up against him, but it says the Lord delivered them. The Lord protected them. So that's another thing we can fast for, is for protection, right? There's crazy stuff that happens every day. So we can fast for just general protection throughout the day, because, anything could happen at a red light these days, right? Especially in big cities. I live here in Houston, so it is really dangerous here. People are getting shot left and right for, the most minuscule things. So if you're someone that needs direction, if you're someone that feels lost, if you're someone that's worried about your kids and their direction, or friends or family, if you're someone that's worried about some enemies waiting for you around the corner, whether you live in a bad neighborhood, or if you just have general paranoia because the media feeds us so much garbage every day telling you to be scared, be scared, be scared, right? And you might be affected by that. And I mean, some of it's legitimate, right? But we can't just be paranoid every day, all day. The takeaway is that you should give fasting a shot. For whatever reason, the Lord uses this act of humility, and He really responds to it, because it's something that humbles us. It's something that tells us that that tells God that we're willing to sacrifice ourselves and our own appetites, right? We're willing to sacrifice that for His will and for His blessing. And honestly, the Lord loves humility. He loves humility. Every time someone is off the wayside, goes off the path, and they humble themselves before God truly, God always hears them out. Always. So if you're stuck in a rut, if you're living full of fear, go ahead and fast. Go ahead and give fasting a shot and see how God works in your life. Whether He gives you the literal protection or answer that you need in your prayer, or He gives you the peace of mind and the peace of heart that you need to live a better quality and peaceful life. God bless.